What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a great day. Today we're going to finish up our Magura MT5e install on the Volcon Brat. We've already done the front, and there's going to be a video link to that at the end of this video. But for now, let's get going on the rear brakes and show you how to install that and get this thing back on the road. This was probably the best upgrade I've done, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. So stay tuned, and let's get this going. Let's get this show on the road. First, remove the right grip by using a 4mm Allen wrench or a power drill. Next, remove the throttle spacer. Using a 3mm Allen wrench, loosen the throttle but don't pull it off just yet. Remove the wire harness wrap. And cut your zip ties holding everything together. Then disconnect the 3-pin throttle connector and remove the throttle from the handlebars. Cut the hose connected to the master cylinder and disconnect the 2-pin brake light connector and remove the assembly. Moving on, we're going to remove the Volcon rear caliper with a 5mm Allen wrench or a power drill. Once again, spacers and washers are going to fly, so be sure to keep track of them and how they're installed. Next, we're going to remove the controller cover that is secured by 4 3mm screws. This takes a bit of time considering the position, so take your time. With the controller cover off, go ahead and slide the hose down through the controller cover and move it through the chassis. Remove the wire harness wrap located underneath the frame, and at this point you can pull the hose through and remove the caliper. I didn't remove the zip ties here because there was enough play to do it without cutting them, and I wanted to try and reuse them, which I did. Now for the Maguras. Again, you're going to want to remove the yellow transport dividers from the caliper and mount it on the bike. Use the 2 included 5mm hex screws from Magura with the blue thread lock in this order: the screw, 2 washers from before, the caliper, then the 2 spacers you should have kept track of and mounted to the frame. Do not fully tighten them as you're going to need to align your brakes later. Let's get back to the front of the bike. You've got enough hose to bring the assembly around and mount the master cylinder onto the handlebars. Next, you're going to cut the brake hose so that you can feed it back through the underside of the frame from the rear. After cutting the hose, use the plug that came with the Magura kit to plug the longer end of the hose, keeping the royal blood in the lines. Now bring the hose to the back of the bike and straighten it out. The banjo bolt that's located here can be adjusted if necessary, but it wasn't, so moving on. Feed the hose back through the frame the same way it came out. I was able to reuse the zip ties that were in place just by threading the hose through. Had to do some editing magic right here and reverse the process of feeding the hose through the controller. Short story, it's too long to tell, so. Replace the controller cover using the 4 3mm screws you took out earlier. Be sure all the wires fit properly back inside the panel. Nice job. Let's get back to the master cylinder. Remove the hose cover, then remove the compression sleeve nut and the remaining hose with an 8mm spanner or an adjustable wrench. Pick a spot on the hose and get ready to cut it to size. I recommend leaving a little extra to allow the hose to move freely after attaching it to the master cylinder. Remember, longer is better. Clip. Replace the components in this order: the hose cover, the compression sleeve nut, the olive and support sleeve, which is included in the brake kit. You're going to use the sleeve insertion tool to line up the support sleeve and lock it in. With the support sleeve in place, reattach the hose to the master cylinder with your 8mm spanner. Once this is done, bring the master cylinder parallel to the floor and get ready to reassemble your throttle. Slide the throttle back onto the handlebars. Replace the throttle spacer and adjust the components to easily access the screws below the throttle. You're going to be playing with the spacing of these, so don't tighten them all the way until later. Take the right grip and slide that back into place. Replace the super long 4mm screw. I used my drill to start the process, but finished up with my screwdriver with the 4mm attachment so I didn't over tighten the screw. After that is done, you'll be able to line up the throttle and tighten it down with a 3mm Allen key so you can move on and finish up the job. At this point, you're going to reattach the 3-pin throttle connector. Then attach the 2-pin shut-off brake light connector. Be careful to line up the connectors properly and snap them into place. Be sure to pull through any excess hose and wires that may be loose. Wrap all that up with a fresh zip tie and you're almost there. Put the wire harness wrap back into place and adjust the master cylinder to your desired position. The Maguras use a T25 Torx screw, so be sure to tighten it down with a T25 Torx bit so as not to strip the head. Check that everything is aligned and in place and you're good. Job well done. And that's it. You should be finished. With Magura MT5es installed, go ahead and align your brakes, tighten down those calipers, and get out there and ride. If you had a problem with any sort of bleed, go ahead and check out my other video. It shows you how to bleed the brakes on Maguras, but you should be good. With the AO38RC air shock and the Magura MT5es, this thing is a blast to ride. I can't get out there enough and show it off to everybody. And now at $21.99, this bike is incredible savings, so you can go ahead and afford these upgrades with no problem. So get out there, visit Volcon.com, get your own Brat, start riding, save gas. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.